Okay, so 1st of December is Friday. If you don't know already, tomorrow is the first competition I'm going to be having of the season. So usually when I have a competition coming up, I didn't know there was two things, but usually one thing happens, which is as we get closer to the competition, I start to lose my appetite as I prepare for the races. I'm just stressed. But this is the first time I've ever had a competition. I'm not stressed. I'm hungry. I'm like really, really hungry. So I just hope that's some good news, whatever it could be. But right now, what I'm gonna be showing is what I'm bringing with me. So obviously, you've got my kit. I'm running for my university. Massage gun. When I warm up for my races, is a bit different from how I normally warm up. So I need to do more stuff. My massage gun's always been involved, but I need to do more stuff. My spikes. These are Pumas, but I'm actually not gonna be running in these. Reason being is the track I'm running at is an indoor track, and some indoor tracks don't let you wear certain type of spikes. The spikes on those shoes are non-removable, so I'm gonna have to switch back to these shoes. So I'm bringing both of these, but I'm gonna be warming up potentially in these or maybe these. So I might not even bring those. I haven't decided yet, but these are definitely coming with me because as you can see, the spikes are red. There's just one problem which is one of these spikes, this one, is not changed out. Reason being is it's stuck. So I'm gonna have to go to Lee Valley, and this happened last time as well. We're gonna have to get them to file down the spike so we can pull it out. Then the final spike, which I need to remember to bring, and if I don't, I'll just won't wear one, will be put in and everything will be fine. So that's the competition kit as well. I'm gonna be wearing some extra layers as well, if I can find them. I'm gonna be wearing this on top for warmth, and then base layers, which is great, which isn't really important. That's not really important. What we actually care about is the performance. So I've already got the stuff I'm going to be wearing, the spikes, and what I'm going to be using to help with my performance and stuff. I might even bring resistance bands, which I will actually. I store all my resistance bands in here, big ones, small ones. Not that I need the big ones, but they're all in here. So this is also coming with me. Glad I remembered that. And then for food, I don't go anywhere without Lucozade. I don't go anywhere without Lucozade. I always bring Lucozade to competition. Then I always bring some type of crisp with me. Usually it's Pringles, but I was like, these Pringles are getting too expensive. You can't even put this on inflation anymore. So we're for sensations. There's supposed to be a sandwich here, but there isn't. Reason being is I bought it and then I realized it's going to expire by tomorrow. So I ate it today. And the final thing, once I find it, is chocolate. I always have chocolate. And once I have the sandwich, that's my lunch complete. Beyond that, the only thing I'm actually needing now is my coach, but I can't really bring him with me. He's gonna come himself. So I don't need anything else. That's me done for tomorrow. The only thing left to do now is this bag, this massive bag that I have. I need to take, this is my gym stuff. I need to take out all of my gym stuff and fill it with a bunch of clothes. The food is gonna be on my back, but this bag needs to be filled with a bunch of clothes because the clothes I'm gonna be wearing to Lee Valley isn't going to be the clothes I'm wearing whilst I'm at Lee Valley. I'm gonna be taking off the base layers and I'm gonna be switching out into a green outfit, which again, isn't important, but the reason why I'm switching, this is the pants of what I'm wearing. And as you can see here on the pants, there's no zip. I want a zip so that I can wear this until literally the last moment. So I just pull this off and then I'm in my sprint clothes. So the reason why the zip is so important is because in my first competition of the season, when I ran that 11.68, I was waiting to run and I saw obviously everyone else running and I was like, why are they all wearing clothes still? And then I looked, and as their heats would go on, they'd unzip the side and then they'd pull down the pants and then they'd be already in their clothes and they'd go. And it was a really cold day. I believe this was in April. And I was thinking to myself, why haven't I thought of that? Because it's broken now, but I had an outfit that I was wearing on the same day that could do that. And I never did that. And then it got to the point where I was so stupid that I had the 100 first, then I had the 200. And I saw this in the 100 and I still didn't do this for the 200, which sort of understandable. For 200, you have to walk back and sort of, it's a bit longer, but I still didn't do it for the 200. But I realized it's important. So this is what I'm wearing. And as you can see, I can pull apart the bottom. then all I have to do is just zip it back, and then there's no pull-up bar. This is inside out, that's why that looks like that, but it's amazing. So I'm packing my bag now, and I just thought maybe I should just talk about what I already know coming forwards for the competition. I've looked at my competition, and when I say looked at my competition, I looked at them carefully. I looked at everyone, and I noticed that the people that's gonna be there, this is LUCA, I'm pretty sure it stands for London University's College Athletics, I think, something like that. So it's mainly just London universities, and I don't know why my university gets to go, but we do. And then there's other universities that should be going. Other universities can go, but they don't. This is a regional level competition. The high level universities like Loughborough and places like that, they don't come because it's too easy, so they won't bother. Generally, I can actually see why, but generally most London universities like UCL and all the other ones, probably LSE, they're all going. And the reason why I say I can see why Loughborough don't go is because I've looked at literally everyone. I went one by one through all 9 heats for the 60 meters. I didn't do that for the 200, but I've seen what to expect from the 200. I've come to the conclusion that there's a few people who don't have power 10s, which is the way the UK store out all of the people in the UK's times. So if you go to meet in the UK, most likely you're gonna have a power 10 by the time you leave. And if you live in the UK and you do athletics, obviously, as long as you remember, as long as you've signed up to English athletics, you have a power of 10 without question, without fail. And the people that don't have a power of 10, there isn't much of a worry from them. Reason being is because if you don't have a power of 10, it means you haven't been doing this for long. This might be your first season ever, which means most likely, if you're a guy, for 100 meters, you're going to be running 12 to 13 seconds, which isn't a problem at all. And for the people that did have power 10s, most of them were at my PB. 7:49 is my PB, or so just about 7:5 or slower. There was a few people that were running 7:8. And the reason why I say that's a problem for them, but not so much for me, is because my 7:49 was really, really slow. It was the start of the season when I didn't have any sprint training. So if I was to redo a 60 right now, most likely I would probably be able to run low 7 easy. I mean, maybe not easy, but I should be able to run low 7 easy. This would be funny to see when I'm actually making this video. If I run the race and then I run 7:3, but yeah, I should be able to beat my 60 meter PB easy, because that PB was before I even ran 11:68, and I made a lot of progress throughout the season. So most likely that I would have run 11:8, 11:9. So there was really not much of a worry in that regard. And a lot of people that are running tomorrow are also running 11:8s and 9s. There was one person that I remember seeing who was running 11:32 or 3:2. There was someone else who I saw running 11:13, which obviously faster than my PB, but if you convert my fastest time, which was 11:06 with wind, I'm running 11:11. So as long as things don't go too bad, I should win. Then there was one person who was running 6:66, and I was fretting for a bit. I was like, this is a problem. But then I looked at their power of 10 and it said 7:67. And I trust power of 10 a lot more than I trust open track, where I was seeing all these times. So I was like, okay, someone inputted their time wrong somehow. So again, then it's just becoming more less of a dangerous meeting, more like just a meet just to show up to get a time and go home, which is great. And then my next race after this will be in the 17th of December. I kept thinking it was the 7th, I don't know why, but the 17th of December will be my next race. So 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, I'm going to be having my next race. I think I'm going to be doing 260s again. So yeah, but for my race tomorrow, I'm really just going to run easy, PB, get to the finals, and then try and win the finals. We'll see what happens. It's 5:30, so I'm going to get ready. Then we can go. Then I want to end up in Lee Valley.
Set, go.
Okay, so I just ran the race. I'm tired. I ran 7:33, I think. I don't really care. I wasn't going all out. The start was anything but the best. I've had way better starts than that. I kind of just fell out of the blocks. I did it in the one run I got to do before I did the race, and then I did it in the race sort of. I was a bit later in the race, so I'm glad I saved the first 3 steps, but it could have been more powerful attacking up and back, up and back, up and back. So I'm going to focus on that in the finals. 2 people ran 7.2s. I think it was 7.23 and 7.28. Then 2 people ran 7.3s. Me being one of them, and I think the other guy ran maybe the same time I ran. I don't exactly remember. I'm gonna check the times later, but I would say it's gonna take 7-1 to win this competition, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna go sub 7 in this purely because of form. So I'm gonna have to try again on the 17th. I'm obviously gonna try and go sub 7 now if I can, because that 7.43 was easy, but we'll just see what happens. Something I forgot to mention was when I was running that 7.33, it was really easy. So at about 30 meters, I was like, okay, I can hear them, but I can't see them. Let me look both ways, because that's when I passed everyone. So I looked left, I didn't see anyone. I couldn't even see him at all. I think I saw him right at the back. There was only one person in lane 2. Then I looked right and I was like, I could see this guy pushing really hard beside me. I was like, I'm just gonna let off the gas. I don't think I need to re-accelerate to beat him. So I kind of found that a bit funny. But yeah, I'm still of the belief 7-1 will be needed to be, maybe even sub 7-1. I say to win this, no more than 7 seconds. There's no need to push and try for a 7. I'm not going to try and injure myself in my first race of the season. If I can't get 7, it is what it is. It's more so a form issue of on the day, not so much a form issue in general. We'll just see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to take this easy and see what happens in finals.
Let's go.
So I just finished the 200, a nice and easy 23.97. As I was speaking to my coach right afterwards, and as I was speaking to him, saw some guy do 23.18. My coach said I left, because I slowed down at the end, I left like 0.5, so we could equate my times to something like 23.47. And what's really good about that is I didn't even go out hard at the start. I just went out all right, maintained my speed and just let it leave me, which is why I got caught near the end. But at the end, I just re-accelerated, so I wasn't even going all out. So I could probably run a 23.18 or faster myself in that race alone without trying hard at all, if I just maintained my speed, which I didn't try and do. So we expect some great things this season. During this time between the 60 and 200, me and my coach worked on my start. In my head, I had this thought that when I hit a bang, I need to push into the box, then split. But my coach and I realised that all I needed to do was, when I hit a bang, just split. The reason why I had push and split is because when I first started doing the blocks, I just used to like run out of the blocks. There was no power. But now that I'm having power, I'm like, I need even more power. So I'm already pushing into the blocks and set. And then when I hit a bang, I'm pushing, then I'm splitting. And that's taking longer for me to split than it should be. And in this 200 that I did, I realised I was taking 2 steps, and the time was taking others to take 1, which is really good, which means I'm finally able to be not just powerful but explosive. That's what my coach is saying. I'm powerful, but I need to be explosive. So now I'm able to be explosive by just removing one visual input of push, or whatever type of language, I don't know. Now the only thing that's really wrong with my blocks is my hip height, which me and my coach know was going to take a while to work on, but we should get it down. And with that as well is a reason why I actually think I might be able to go sub 7 in the 60. So that's great. So I qualified for the 60 finals. I've qualified to 200 finals, which is good. 200, I'm not sure if I'm going to win. We'll see. But the 60, we stand a chance. So I'm just going to hope for the best. But for now, I'm just going to cool down and get on my day.
Ooh.
I just ran the 60. Came second. It was alright. 7:17. I tried to dip one step early, so I ended up jumping the line. If I didn't, I could have tied first, maybe even come first. So, but I'll take second. Silver's good. It's a one-up from bronze that I got in 2021 for the 400. Spoke to my coach and he said everything before the blocks is great. It's not amazing, but it's great. So we just need to work heavily on my block starts and getting those better. We've already made improvements today, so we're just going to keep working again and again and again to try and improve my block starts. And he said we're going to try and run 6.5, 6.6 in the 60 by the end of the season. Obviously, there's not going to be a 60 meter to test whether I've done it or not, but we're going to try and see if we can run that fast so that my next season, when I open that, I'm able to, in 2025, or maybe even December next year, I'm able to open with a 6.6, 6.5, potentially here at LUCA and win easy. So that's great. Now we've got the 200, which I'm gonna chill for. Hope I medal. I should medal. We'll see what happens for the 200. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm just gonna let what happens happen, but I'm generally better at the 200 now than the 60 or the 100, so generally, not always. So we'll just take it as it comes. I felt my hip glitch slightly, my right hip that was injured before, which is a bit bad, but I'm just playing it safe. I'm basically fine, so there's not much of a reason to worry. So we're just gonna run a 200 and hope for the best. Hopefully I don't get injured. I shouldn't. It's because it's not really injury, it's more like tight tension. So we're just gonna be careful about that, but I should be fine. And yeah, we'll just manage that, strengthen that up again if it's weakened, and continue on with the season. Next race, 17th of December, we're gonna try and PB again, 7:17. Like I said, we PB'd, well, we haven't said it, but yeah, I PB'd twice. And I predicted that I should. PB'd in the 60 meter heats, easy. PB'd in the 60 meter finals. I didn't actually go all out for the final for some reason, out of the start, which is problematic, which is why I got left behind by so much. I might have won, but I wouldn't have been up with everyone else. I'd still be in the dead last, joint dead last, but it would have, not joint dead last, I would have been like second to last. I don't know, but I'm not going to say what could have been. I'm just going to look at what has happened, and we're going to go from there. So I didn't make it into the 200 because I didn't know it was a knockout. So it was the fastest sprinters. So it wasn't just guaranteed if you won your heat, you need to win the fastest 6 times because there was 6 lanes. And I came 8th because I slowed down. I ran 23.97 to qualify me to run fast in 23.81 or 82, I believe. It's unfortunate, but we didn't learn. The winning time for the 200 was 22.89, which I believe I could have beat, which is sad. Or at least come second with, because the second time was 23.15, something like that. 23, something like that. So I'm a bit aggravated. Well, I'm just going to use it as fuel for my next races. So I'm not going to let something like that happen again, where I failed to get into the finals because I slowed down too much. But it happens.
Reading night.
Okay guys, it's been days since I did the race and there's a few things I want to talk about. First off is got 16 in silver. There's a few things about the day that I wasn't very happy about regarding the race. Problem that I had with the 200 was I slowed down too much. I didn't like the fact that I slowed down too much, but I didn't know that it was the fastest 6 winners. And obviously because there's 6 lanes, I don't know why I wasn't using my head. Because I slowed down, I ended up being 8th overall out of all of the heat winners when I could have easily gotten that 6th. Or maybe I probably would have finished 5th, I think, if I just ran through the line, which was obviously quite unfortunate. The finishing time for the 200 was 22.8, I think it was, for the finals. So I could have probably quite easily beat that. Yeah, my PB in the 200 is 22.94, but that was last season, midway through last season. I made a lot of improvements already since then, so I could probably, if I didn't win, I would have got silver, so that would have been 2 silvers. And I'm quite sad about that, not because I wanted to get another medal, but because since I didn't get to the 200, I didn't manage to get my uni points, because I definitely would have medaled. And if we was 1 point off of third, so third beat us by 1 point, and if I came second in a 200 at least, we would have been third. So that was a fault on my part. And it's the same thing with the 60. The winner ran 7:14, I believe it was. If it wasn't, nah, I think it was 7:14. And the reason why they won was because I leaped across the line. If I just ran through the line like how I normally run through the line, which is, it just confused me what was going on that day, that wouldn't have happened. Yes, there was other problems with the 60, but if I just ran through the line, even if I didn't win, the difference between first and second wouldn't have been 0.03, it would have been 0.01. The next thing, and the most important thing of that race that I want to really talk about, is just my first 20 meters, because oh my god, it's embarrassing. My first 20 meters are embarrassing to watch. The reason why I know that is because I know basically everyone's PB in that field, and there's one guy who was on the outside. I mean, not the outside, the inside. I think he was in lane 1 or 2. His name is Gia, if I'm remembering right. I actually raced him in the final race of my last season, where I got that minor hip injury. I might even put a video up here. And I remember him very well because I opened my season with him at Lee Valley, and I'm opening my season again indoors at Lee Valley. I'm seeing him. It's weird. Like, I saw him indoors at Lee Valley. I saw him outdoors at Lee Valley. I'm seeing him when I'm ending my season. I'm seeing him indoors and I'm opening my season again. I just keep seeing the guy. So I just found that interesting anyway. But yeah, during the race, he was leading for about 30 meters. I feel like there might be some curse that I have with him, because whenever I'm running with him in the race, I just come out of the blocks really relaxed. Not so much like, yes, I'm relaxed, but there's just no power output. I don't know why. But he was leading for a decent amount of the race, and I just came and I finished. But he runs high 11s, whilst I run low 11s back then. And right now, who knows what I run? I will still say low 11s. I'm not going to say I'm going to run sub 11. Then I open my season, then I run like a 12, like, you know. But the fact that I'm not able to keep up with him throughout the entirety of the race is obviously problematic. So I need to work on that, because my 60 times aren't slow, they're fast. The problem is they're fast from 20 meters to 60. I can get from 20 to 60, basically, I did get from 20 to 60 the fastest in the field, but from 0 to 20, I'm right at back. So in a December video, you can definitely expect me working on that problem, because once I'm upright, my form is it's not immaculate, but it's good. It's quite good. But when I'm trying to get out of the blocks, it's just not the best. And I've already started, obviously it's December, so I've already started doing some work in December, and you're going to be seeing that in my December video breakdown. So expect a lot of work on just me trying to get through that 20. Obviously, December's not going to be that long because uni's going to be finishing soon, but I am going to be working on strength and just trying to get my form fixed, because I kind of cycle out of not out of the blocks, but second step. Basically, I just cycle and I'm not getting enough hip extensions. So me and my coach have been trying to work on that so that I can actually get not even a good 20 meters, but just an average 20 meters. Because if you go back to that 60 race, if I was able to just match everyone for the first 20 meters, I would not only would I have gone sub 7, I would have probably ran low 6'9", maybe even 6'8", for example. I would have been flying, but my first 20 just very poor. So after the 16 or 200 that I had at LUCA, where I won my heats in the 200 and I came second in the 60 finals, I had another race for the 60 on the 17th of December in Eltham at Sutcliffe Park, where I'm going to be running 2 rounds in the 60, and we're going to roll to that now. Hey guys, today is 17th of December for my race. I don't know what my massage gun is. If I knew where it was, I'd bring it with me, but water, spikes. Because it's not Lee Valley, I don't need to wear Christmas tree spikes, at least I hope. So I don't have to wear my other spikes that aren't as good. So I got my good ones, and the final thing I need is a charger. My phone dies extremely fast. Charger in, then got my AirPods, phone, and that's it. I think my massage gun might be left in Canterbury, and I also left my shoes in Canterbury, so I'm wearing my Crocs to warm up, because I left them there because I just had no space. It's not like I forgot to bring them, but I just generally had no space to bring them, so I did what I had to do. So I wasn't gonna leave my spikes and I had to bring home a lot of stuff that I don't need to bring with me to next term, but that's besides the point. So this won't happen next time I have a race, but this is probably the only time, well, 2 times, because we've got the other race on the 7th of January, where it's going to happen, but wish me luck.
It's all right then, Joe. Well, it's all right then. No, somebody else has got me out without going.
In my head, after running a 60 with 7:17 in LUCA, I knew what I was capable of. I knew I was able to run faster than 7:17 because the start that I had for the first 20 meters was really, really bad. And yes, I haven't been in a race in months, so most likely my start did deteriorate, but my start was still better than what I did on the day. Reason being is I changed my start around. The start that I did when I ran 7:33 was different to the start I did when I ran 7:17. So I just needed to adjust to the start. And unfortunately, I'm not at uni anymore because it's the break. So I'll be back later. So I'm not going to be able to train. So I'm going to have to use these competitions actively to try and refine my start. And I already knew what I needed to work on to be able to get a better start. I needed to be more reactive, and I needed to have a stronger glute medius on both sides, specifically the left side, I'm pretty sure, because that's the side that I'm the weakest on. So if I could strengthen that, I could obviously expect improvement. So I was training my glute medius in between the period, and then the race came, and I ran 7:19 in this first 60, and it wasn't a PB, which made me sad, angry, in fact. And I looked at the video, and I was angry, not just because I didn't PB, but because how I ran, and I still was so close to my PB, because the block starts were bad. Sort of an excuse, but the race before, there was 4 or 5 problems with the gun, and when it was my turn next, I was in heat 2. So I was expecting, oh, okay, well, there was 4 or 5 problems with the gun. One time the gun, like it was 3 times, the gun was short and the bang never went off, so many false starts. And I think someone also ended up falling out of the blocks at one of the points. And I was like, oh, okay, this is just messy, and I'm gonna expect the same thing with my race. So I was in the blocks, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even enter flow, because I was in my head, I was just like, oh yeah, there's gonna be at least 1 false start. So I'd even get in the blocks properly, and I was like, it's fine, it's gonna be a false start. There wasn't a false start, so I was a bit stunned. I think I left the blocks a bit late. It wouldn't have been too noticeable, but I did. And then on the 4th step, as I was pulling my leg through, pretty sure it was the right foot, it slammed into my left calf, and I was like, this is not going to be good. I recovered anyway, then finished the race and around 7:19, and I was upset because I still ran so close to my PB. Even basically, I did trip. Even after tripping, it's like, what? Really? But it is what it is. Luckily, I came 3rd, but regardless, you was gonna get a 2nd race. It was just rounds. So I went to the finals. I was in final B, the 2nd fastest final for the 60. And I was like, okay, well, let's just pretend. Let's not pretend, let's just say every single time there's not gonna be a fault. I rarely ever deal with false starts. I rarely ever deal with gun problems. I never dealt with a gun problem, I don't think. And I've had false starts, but they weren't mine. So let's just get in the blocks and just run it like how you normally do. And let's not get worked up. Let's not let anything external affect you. Let's just let you do what you do best, and that's run really fast. So that's what I did. And if you look here, you can see that it's just ripped. It's all crinkled, and the paper's like this because I was sweating hard, and it soaked into the paper and it ruined it. So like, even ripped there. As you can see, I was training really, not training, I was running really hard, warming up really well. I warmed up a bit different as well, because when I was at Sutcliffe, they only have there's a few problems with this track. It's a great track to train on, not to compete on, because the track's actually softer, so you need to put more force into the track to do the same amount of work. And because it's just a 60, there's just a 60 strip, everyone's right beside you, so you don't get a lot of space. That's a lot to deal with when I was in a race, knowing that, oh, everyone's right there. Like, they could touch me if I was in lane 1 if they wanted to. They could interfere in my race in 2-3 steps and no one would be able to stop him. And that is a bit unsettling. But the real problem that I had was the track was really soft, so I had to put a lot of power into the track. And I'll get back to that later on. But the other problem I had was warming up. The way the meet was done was it was women's heats, men's heats, women's finals, men's finals. And it's December, so obviously it's supposed to be cold. It's not, but it's supposed to be cold. And it is kind of cold, but we're all inside trying to warm up, and you can't warm up inside on the track until the women are done. The women can warm up before. If you was there before the meet started, you could warm up. I wasn't there before, but I mean I was, but the women were warming up, and I came right before the women heats were, so it'd be wrong for me to warm up with the women. That's just because they've got their allotted time. I would have got kicked out if I tried anyway, but they've got a lot of time. If I wanted to warm up, I'd have to come well before this. So first 30 to 45 minutes, I believe, before the women's heats, the women's were warming up, and then there was a break between the women's heats and the men's heats, and there was 30-45 minutes where the men were warming up, and then just kept going, which meant you'd have 30 to 45 minutes to warm up for your race. And it's not just that, you have to consider the fact that if you're in heat 1, or it doesn't matter what heat you're in, the second heat 1 starts, you have to get off the track because the races are going to start. So you've literally only got this time to warm up. And I take a long time to warm up. I take about 2 hours. 30 to 45 minutes was not enough. So I'm actually kind of impressed I ran so fast, even with a poor warm up. I'm going to run again on the 7th. So I'm going to find a way to adjust. Most likely, I'm just going to suck it up and warm up outside. They're not supposed to have any spare blocks, but last time they did, so I'll see if I can grab one of those and try and warm up outside. And when it's time for the warm-up period for the men's heats, I'm gonna go inside and finish my warm-up. I'll see if that works. It should. I'm not sure, but when problems come, don't find excuses, find solutions. So that's what we're gonna do. So the second race rolled around. 7:18 is what I ran, and the reason why I ran that, because I won't even lie, I was supposed to run 7:19. The reason why I ran 7:18 instead was because I came out of the blocks well, and I actually came out the blocks. Usually I always get left behind in the blocks. I have a really bad start, like really bad start. I'll show the start that I had in the LUCA 60-meter finals. I was I was dead last. Then I came second last, and then I moved way up to second, which is really impressive in my book. But I was still behind, but I wasn't dead last, and I was closer to the pack. So usually this should have meant, okay, we was close to the pack at about 20-30 meters, 25 meters maybe. Usually at that point it'd be like, okay, you guys are too close to me, I'm about to zoom by. But it's a 60, it's not 100. If it was 100, I probably would have won, but it was a 60. I came third again, by the way. But even if that was the case, I probably should have won that race regardless. And if I didn't win, second. But the problem was I was so focused on not ruining the start of the race, I neglected the best part of my race. So once I came out of my drive phase, I was just stepping on the ground. I wasn't actually hitting the track. And originally I was in 4th place by 45 meters. But at 50 meters, I was like, am I just stepping on the track? I'm supposed to be a power athlete. So I started thundering down the track. I felt it because I could see out of the corner of my eye. The person on my right was right in front of me by a bit. And the second I did that, I just passed his shoulder. I was like, in my head, this was literally me. I was like, you idiot. You idiot. You could have started this 20 meters ago. You could have won. You could have won. And you ruined it. You ruined it.
You're just ruining it.
And what really bugged me was that's why I didn't run 7:19, because of the final 10 meters where I put the hammer down. And along with that, the race before that, I could have also won that, but I didn't because I never put the hammer down, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So in the heats, I think I was 7th overall, and then in the finals, I think it might have been 10th, 11th, 12th. placing dropped once the finals came around because everyone's gonna go out really hard. Something notable about the race though was that there was one person who went sub-7, the only person that went sub-7 out of the men's. Obviously, most likely not the women's, but the men's. He ran 6:8.5 or 6. I don't have footage of it because I forgot he was in the race because I saw his times before this and I was like, he's quite young. He's younger than me, so he might PB. And it'd be great to see someone run sub-7, but I forgot. I was too focused on myself naturally, so I didn't get any footage of that. And then so he ran 6:8.5 or 6:8.5 or 6:8.6 in the heats. Then in the finals he ran 6:9.2, which is quite interesting to see someone run sub-7. I haven't seen someone do that in a while. It hasn't been since the start of the season in January at Lee Valley, but it was kind of interesting to see that. To sum it all up, I might not be keeping my hair in January. We're gonna have to see how it goes. I'm still training. Whilst I don't have access to a track right now, starting next week, or well, next week for me, I don't know when you guys are gonna see this, but starting next week, I'm gonna be training on my roads like I used to before I was able to go on the track. Because what else am I gonna do? I can still do plyometrics. I can still train outside and all this other stuff. I can't go gym, but that's besides the point. But I do have my resistance band that I've got recently. This one's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. I've been using this to train my glutes every day. Hopefully we can expect some good stuff on the 7th because I want to keep my hair if I can. I don't want to lose it. If I lose it, I want to at least say I did my absolute best to keep it instead of say that I messed up. But something I want to highlight is the difference between the LUCA and the Sutcliffe 60s, which was the start. That was the main thing, because after LUCA, where I came second, because I don't really care about the 200, so whilst I didn't get to the finals, it wasn't a lack of ability, which is why I'm not too fast, and I probably could have won. But I was mainly upset about the LUCA because my team came 4th, when if I just got to the finals, we would have came 3rd at least overall, which is a bit sad, but it happens, you know, you learn for next time. But the 60, the first 20 meters was really bad, but the 20 meters at the Sutcliffe 60s were much better. They weren't amazing. Obviously, I do want to be able to, if possible, get my 60 to just lead from 10 meters onwards if I can. If I can't, but if I can, that would be great. But the fact that I was with the bulk of everyone is really good, because when I was doing my season 2023, if you was to look at the footage, I might even show some of it, you'd see that when I ran my first race of the season outdoors, 11.68, I was dead last, and there was a big gap between everyone. I think it was like been 20 meter gap, if I'm remembering right anyway, between, maybe I'm over exaggerating, maybe it was just 10, between, which is still a lot, between me at the back and the front runner, my teammate, and I had to close that gap to win right at the end. I think I passed him at 80, 85 meters, maybe even 90 meters. So he really thought he was going to win until very end, which is a bit unfortunate for him. But as the season went on, you'd see that my starts were getting better and better and better. And the easiest way to tell wasn't to look at myself, but to look at my placing in the field. The people who were coming 2nd or 3rd to me, because in the 100, I didn't lose until the very end when I got injured. You'd see that they're running quite close times to me, but I'm right beside them, maybe even in front of them sometimes, depending on what race you're looking at, which is amazing, because if you just focus on their 100 meter times and what that should mean for their 60, that means, okay, I'm running an equivalent 60 roughly to you, when my 60s are just really bad. Which is why for this season, I'm really focusing, 2024 season, I'm really focusing on the 60 during the indoors. I'm probably not going to run another 200 indoors. I have the worst time running indoor 200s, and it's always at Lee Valley. So let's just drop the 200, focus on the 60, and actually focus on what actually matters. Because in a race, 60, not even 60, 50 meters onwards, I'm in control. But 0 to 50, anything can happen, you know, really anything can happen. So I don't really need to worry about 200. I'm good enough on a 200, like 50 to 200, 50 to 100. I'm good enough there. But the first 50, if I can make up time here, I can have more momentum. And the more momentum I can have, the faster top speed I'm going to be able to hit, and fast I'm going to PB. Because like I said in my last video in the Q&A, you want to work back in the sprint phases, and then they just synergistically improve the rest of your race. Right now, my focus is on the drive phase and the block starts. Yeah, my drive phase is quite good now. It's not amazing, but it's quite good for where I am, but it's not amazing. It's not perfect. And also my block starts they're not atrocious, good enough, which is really unfortunate, because good enough isn't great. But I know what I need to focus on now, which is just the first 20 meters. And the first 20 meters, I have this problem where my body's really strong. Other than my hips, I have a lot of strength, my hips up and my hips down, but not in my hips. Not that my gluteal muscles are weak, because I have a strong glute maximus, because I'm able to hip thrust 290. But when you look at my glute medius or my glute minimus, they're not as strong. And then when you look at the hip flex muscles, they're quite strong now, but they weren't strong last season. So I want to be able to refine these so that when January rolls around, I can keep my hair by going sub 7. February rolls around, I can do very well. Suppose I should go to Bucks. That's what I have no meets scheduled for February. If I'm not going Bucks, I'm gonna have to find some meet to do at that time. And then March, when I do my final 60, which I should do, most likely at Sutcliffe again. And then it's time for outdoors, and I want to be in a good position where my 60s were really good. I was improving, and now it's time for outdoors. I'm going to continue to improve, and now I can start to, over my season, massive PB, then just keep PBing for the rest of the season. It sounds a bit stupid, is a bit ambitious, but if it works, it works.